Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to explain and practically demonstrate a lot about JUnit, which is a unit testing framework. So let's get started. First of all, what exactly is this JUnit? JUnit, as I already mentioned here, is one of the popular unit testing frameworks available in the market. There are several unit testing frameworks available in the market, guys, like JUnit, TestNG, XUnit, and so on. But JUnit is one of the popular unit testing frameworks and is suitable for the projects which are based on Java programming language. Who uses this JUnit? So JUnit can be used by either developers or testers. How developers will use this JUnit? You see, there are different levels of software testing like unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. In that first level of testing, that is unit testing, is generally performed by the developers. So to perform that unit testing, developers have to use one unit testing framework. So they may choose JUnit for that purpose. Okay. To support that process, they may use JUnit. Similarly, software testers also can use JUnit. For example, when software testers write some automation scripts based on some automation tools like Selenium, etc., they may have to use these unit testing frameworks like JUnit, TestNG, etc. Okay. So JUnit can be used by either developers or testers. Fine. Then adding JUnit to the Eclipse ID projects. So the theoretical part is done, guys. Okay, what exactly is JUnit and okay, who uses it and why they use it? All these things I explained so far. But now let's get started with the practical stuff. Okay, so I will start using this JUnit in my Eclipse ID projects. Okay, so in the Eclipse ID I have Java projects. In the Java projects I will use JUnit. Okay, so how to use this JUnit in Eclipse ID projects? Okay, for that, guys, okay, we need to open Eclipse ID. And here I'll create some project, guys. Okay, I will create some Java project. So in Eclipse ID, how to create the Java projects? There are two ways, guys. A simple Java project you can create, or you can create a Maven project also. Okay, first I will show you how to create a simple Java project. File, new, and here I have to select project. Here, guys, in this new project dialog, if you scroll down, there is a folder known as Java folder. Okay, expand the Java folder. Under that, you see something known as Java project. Okay, just select that and click on next. Here, just give the name of the project. So I'll simply say simple Java project. Okay, click on finish. So you'll get a dialog like this, create a module and all. If you get this kind of dialog, say don't create. Then you'll get this kind of dialog. Select this and remember my decision, say open perspective. Okay, done. You see a simple Java project got created here, guys. A simple Java project got created here. Expand this project. You expand this project, you see there is this project is by default coming with the JRE system library. Okay, Java library, guys, is nothing but the Java library. But this project won't come with JUnit library. JUnit is also a library, like similar to Java library. JUnit is also a library, guys. Okay, even though it is a unit testing framework, it's nothing but available in the form of a library. Like Java is available in the form of a library. JUnit is also available in the form of library. But by default, when you create projects in Eclipse ID, they come with the JRE system library, that is Java library. But how to get JUnit library in this project? Okay, how to add the JUnit library to this project in this Eclipse ID? For that, guys, very simple, guys. What we have to do is very simple. It is just right click on this project, guys. Okay, just right click on this project, select properties option. You see on the last you have the properties option. You'll get this properties for this project dialog. Now select this option, Java build path option. Select that. Okay, when you select this Java build path, here you see there are a lot of tabs here. Okay, so I'll be selecting this one of the tab, that is libraries tab. When I select the libraries tab, some people may get this class path, some people may not get this class path. If you get this class path, then you have to select the class path. If you don't get the class path, don't do anything. Okay, if you get this class path, okay, when you select libraries, if you get the class path, then select the class path. If you're not getting the class path, don't select anything here. Okay, so since in my Eclipse ID, when I'm right clicking on the project and selecting the properties, and after going to the Java build path under the library, since I'm getting the class path here, I'll select that. Okay, in my case I'm selecting. In your case, if you don't get this, don't select that. Now After selecting this class path here, now click on add library option. Okay, just click on this add library. Then in a while you will get this add library dialog. You see there are a lot of libraries available here that you can instantly add. So JUnit is one of them. You see clearly it's mentioned JUnit. Okay, so I'll be adding this JUnit. I don't have to download from any external source, guys. Okay, in order to add the JUnit library in this project, I don't have to download this JUnit library from external sources. Okay, it's there in the Eclipse ID, but you have to explicitly add it. Java library was by default added, but JUnit is not by default added, but it's there in the Eclipse ID. Okay, so I'll select this JUnit and click on next. You see, it's asking for adding this JUnit library, but which version? Which version you want to add? 3, 4, 5. Which one is the latest? 5 is latest, but I don't recommend 5, guys. Okay, even though JUnit 5 is latest, we should not be selecting 5, guys, because a lot of things got changed in JUnit, guys. Okay, so JUnit got changed in JUnit 5. Okay, so it's not like 3 and 4. Okay, so if you go with JUnit 3 and 4, they look similar, but 5 is completely got changed, guys. It's completely changed, and that doesn't mean that even 5 is the latest, so it's the best. You cannot think like that. Okay, a lot of people are still using JUnit 4, guys. Okay, a lot of people are still using JUnit 4. They don't want to migrate to JUnit 5 because 4 is, right, they're kind of using this JUnit 4 from very long time, and all the projects are based on JUnit 4. And JUnit 5, everything got changed. Why they will migrate, right? Only few people may migrate, but most of the people are still using JUnit 4. So instead of, even though JUnit 5 is latest, don't go with JUnit 5, guys. Okay, go only with JUnit 4. If you go with JUnit 5, all things will change. You will not be able to understand my session here. Whatever the examples have taken here, you will not understand anything. Okay, even though we have this JUnit 5 as the latest, I'm selecting JUnit 4. Just be sure of that. Click on finish. You see JUnit 4 library got added in this libraries. Okay, if class path is there, we need to add that JUnit for under the class path. If class path option is not there, we'll directly add that library to this under libraries tab. Okay, now say apply and close. You see whatever the library I added here, but along with the Java library, now we have the JUnit library also. That's great. Okay, what next? So I've shown you how to, okay, in normal Java project, how to add a JUnit for library. I explained you just now, right? So don't go with the JUnit 5, go with the JUnit 4, which is still popular, and we don't have to go to JUnit 5, which is completely change the things. Okay, fine. Now, guys, let's create a file. Okay, let's create under SRC. Let's create a new class just for demo purpose. Let's create a class. I'll just name that as some. What I can do, guys. Okay, so I'll say it's a login or something. Okay, just I'll give some random name like login. Okay, login class. I'll give. Click on finish. Okay, so it's like this. What I'll do, I'll just minimize all this stuff. I'll just increase the font, guys. Control plus plus. If I say, you see the font size will be increased. Now it looks good. So here there is a class, guys. Inside this class, I'm going to create a method. Okay, so inside this particular class, I'm not going to use main method. Okay, so in Java, right, when you create classes and inside that main method will be there, right? Without main method, the code will not run. But this time the code is going to run even without having the main methods also. Okay, without having main method also, we can run the code, guys. How? By using the JUnit, we can run, guys. Okay, so when JUnit kicks in, you should kick out the main method. Okay, so you should not use the main method once the JUnit comes into picture. Okay, so main method is you should not use. You should forget about using main method now. Okay, because this project we have added the libraries of JUnit, and instead of using the main method here, we are going to use JUnit methods. But how to create the JUnit methods inside this class? Let's create one of the method like public void login with valid credentials or some method, some random method I'm giving, guys. Okay, login with valid credentials or something. You can give any name here. That's fine. So here the name of the class is login. Under that we have a method known as login with valid credentials, which is not a main method. Okay, we are not going to use main methods. Remember that. Now on the top of this, some method, some XYZ method, we are going to add some annotation in JUnit, guys. Right? JUnit has some annotations. One of the annotation I'm going to add at the rate test is the annotation. Okay, you just need to type on the top of the method. Since main method is not there, we cannot run the code. So we have to create some methods and convert them into which methods? JUnit methods. Okay, so here if I say at the rate test here, okay, you see some error is coming. Hover the mouse on that error and import this test annotation from JUnit Library org.JUnit. Okay, select that. Okay, the error will be gone. Now, this is a unit test. Okay, so this method which is provided with the @test is nothing but the one of the unit tests in JUnit now. Okay, this JUnit unit test now. Okay, so like this, there are no main methods. Now we have normal test methods. Okay, JUnit test methods. These are unit test methods. Okay, so inside this method, I'll write some sample line, guys. Okay, I'll not write big code here. I'll just write some sample print statement. I'll simply say inside login with a valid, the name of the method I'm giving, that nothing more. Okay, credentials method. Okay, inside this method I'm saying that's it, nothing much. Okay, inside login with valid credentials method. Now you see main method is not there inside this class, but how can I run this particular test method of JUnit? This time, guys, earlier when you have the main method inside the class, when you right click on the file and say run as, you used to get some other Java, right? Java option you used to get, run with Java application or some option used to come. But this time Java application is not coming. When you say run as, some other option is coming, that is JUnit test is coming. You see, because your Eclipse IDE knows that this particular class doesn't have the main method. It has which method? JUnit unit test method. So in order to run that unit test, we have to run using what? Using JUnit we have to run. Either right click on this file and say run as JUnit test, or right click somewhere here and say run as JUnit test. Anything is fine. Okay. We are not going to run using the Java application, guys. We are going to run using the JUnit test. Okay. So this using JUnit, we are running this unit test from JUnit. Okay. Run as JUnit test. You see the test. This method got executed and we got the output also. You see, without main method, we were able to run the code. That's possible with the help of JUnit, guys. Okay. Inside login with valid credentials method came. Okay. Whatever the print statement I gave, that means this method got executed. Not only that, guys. Okay. Not only getting the output in this output console, but also you see a new tab came known as JUnit tab here, and it has some results. Just see what the results are. JUnit. What is the class? Login class. Under the login class, which test we have executed? Login with valid credential test case. This is the test. Okay. Test or test case, whatever you call. This particular test got executed. Okay. It took very less time to run also. Okay. Only one test is there here so far. So this is the result, guys. Green means everything got passed. You see, runs one by one. Nothing got failed. No errors and all. So it got successfully run without any problems. Okay. So far so good. Now let's move. So guys, here I showed you in a sample normal Java project. Okay, in a normal Java project, how to add the JUnit library to the normal Java project and how to run the JUnit unit tests in a normal Java project. I showed you, right? Not only that, guys. Okay, we can also create a Maven project also. Okay, not only normal project, we can also create what? Maven project. Now I will show you how to create this Maven project and how to add this JUnit library to this Maven project and how to run the similar kind of test. Okay, whatever the unit test, JUnit unit test I have run, right? Similar unit test, how to run from the Maven project, I'll show you now. So let's go to this Eclipse IDE. I'll close this part. I'll collapse this project. I'll create one more project, guys. This time not normal Java project. It's going to be the Maven project. Okay. I'll simply say file new. I'll select this project option. And in this new project dialog, instead of going to this Java folder, okay, instead of going to the Java folder and selecting this Java project, which I have used for creating a normal Java project, this time I'll go to the Maven folder. Okay. I'll go to the Maven folder, expand that and select this Maven project. Okay. I'm not going to create a normal Java project. I'm going to create a Maven project. Okay. Click on next. And here, once you get this new Maven project dialog, select this option, guys, create a simple project dialog. Select that, click on next. Now you got this dialog where you have to give the artifact ID means project name. Okay, this is the project name. Let's give some project name. Let's say it's not simple Maven project. It's not a simple Java project. It's a Maven Java project. Okay, some kind of name, random name you give, guys. Okay, I'm just giving this MJP or something. Some group ID you give some random group ID and click on finish. In a while, a Maven project will be created. Earlier, I created a normal Java project. Now I am creating a Maven project. After the loading part is done here, expand this Maven project here. You see, it has SRC main Java, SRC main resources, SRC test Java, SRC test resources, and many stuff. right? So we need to go to this one, guys. Okay, SRC test Java. We have to go. Third one. You should not go to SRC main Java. This is generally used by developers for unit testing. But okay, we can even go to SRC main Java if you are a developer, guys. Okay, if you are a developer, you can go to SRC main Java or SRC main resources. But if you are a tester, you just go to the SRC test Java. Developers also have to go to this SRC test Java for unit testing. Software testers also have to go to this SRC test Java for automation testing. Okay, here developers will be writing the code, guys. Okay, the actual application code will be written under SRC main Java, whereas unit tests written by developers will be maintained by developers under the SRC test Java. If in case of software testers, okay, if in case of software testers, automating the test cases, okay, the software testers will automate the test cases. Those automated test cases will written in the form of the unit test under the SRC test. Okay, let's not go deep there what the developers and testers will do here, but blindly, guys, whether you are a developer or tester, simply let's create the unit test under the SRC test Java in simple words. Okay, let's go and create unit test under the SRC test Java. Okay, right click on this SRC test Java and say create, select new, and create a class. I'll just give the same class name, that is login. Click on finish. Some sample class name I gave, guys. Inside that, I'll create one method also. Public void login with valid credentials. Like this, I'll create some method name. Okay, some random method name. That's okay. Now this is a normal method, guys. Here, as you already know, guys. Okay, as you already know, right? As you already know, main method will not going to use. Okay. So in this, because we are going to add JUnit libraries to these projects, and we are going to create the JUnit unit tests, not the main methods. Okay, either main method should be there or JUnit unit test should be there. So if that means we should not be using the main method, guys. We are going to create the methods which are JUnit unit testing methods. Okay, how to make this normal method into a JUnit unit testing method? For that, guys, at the rate, you have to say at the rate test here. Okay, this at the rate test need to be imported from JUnit. Okay, so hover the mouse here, you see I'm not getting any import statements because JUnit is not added to this project yet. Okay, JUnit library is not added to this project. How to add the JUnit library to this project? So in case of Maven project, guys, open this pom.xml file. There is a file known as pom.xml file. Open that. In the pom.xml file, so this is the place where project is starting and this is the place where project is ending. Okay, so expand this and here add dependencies. Okay, some tag known as dependencies tag. Now end the same thing. Okay, and close this dependencies tag. Okay, before the project ends, add this dependencies and dependencies. Okay, starting and closing dependencies. Fine. So here, guys, in the pom.xml file, this one. Okay, some people may, once you open, some people, guys, when they open pom.xml file, they will see this kind of thing. Okay, they may not see the pom.xml file, that content they may not see. Okay, in that case, guys, select this tab, last tab. You'll get this kind of XML kind of content where you can add this dependency tags. In between the dependency tags, what we have to add? We have to add the dependency tags of JUnit library. Okay, how? We have to go to one website, guys. Okay, just go to one website, that is mvnrepository.com is a website. Okay, just go to one website known as mvnrepository.com. Here, search for JUnit. Simple, just search for JUnit only. Okay, now you got in the search results of this mvnrepository.com, you got JUnit Jupyter, Jupyter and all. Okay, don't go with Jupyter's, guys. Okay, go with normal JUnit. Okay, just click on the second option. It will be taken here, guys. You see the latest version 4 is available here. The latest version in this 4.13.2 is there. Click on that 4.13.2. So whatever the latest version of version 4 of JUnit is available, don't go for version 5 as I already mentioned in the just before, right? Don't go with the version 5. Go with only the latest version that is available in the version 4 of JUnit. Okay. So here on this latest version page of this 4 version page of this JUnit, here somewhere Maven tab is there and there are some dependencies here. Just click on this. This content is already got copied here. Go back to the project and under the dependencies, paste it. Okay, Control V. That's it. That's it, guys. Now save this. The moment you save this, what happens? The JUnit libraries will be downloaded and automatically configure this project. You don't have to do anything. Okay. Now come back here and just expand this Maven dependencies here. Apart from Java library, here there is one more thing known as Maven dependency. Expand that. You got JUnit here. Okay, you got JUnit because you added the dependency tags in pom.xml file. That's why we got the JUnit. Now once we got the JUnit, guys, save the project and hover the mouse on at the rate test, and you see now you're getting the import statement. import this test annotation from JUnit library. That's it. Now this particular method got converted into a from a normal method to the JUnit unit test method. Okay. Now let's write the code. Some sample code I will write, that is system.out.println statement inside which method? Inside method that is login with valid credentials method. Now run this code. So save this, and if I run this login.java case, you will not get Java application. You see, run as Java application is not coming, because when you will get the Java application option here when you have the main method here. Okay, you see this particular class doesn't have the main method, but still you can run the code because we have the unit tests. JUnit unit tests are available. So right click and run as, you will get the JUnit test option, because this particular class has a unit test. So either right click here or right click on the file and run as, whatever is feasible. Just click on this. You see, this particular unit test got executed and inside method login with valid credentials got printed. Not only that, we got the JUnit results also. So inside this class, one of the unit tests got executed, and this particular unit test, you see, green color thing is, that means it's got passed. No failures, nothing. So guys, you can either go with a normal Java project or you can go with a Maven kind of project with JUnit and all. I'll generally prefer Maven project, guys. Okay, I'll generally prefer Maven project. Now let's continue, guys. So adding JUnit to the Eclipse ID projects, there are two ways, either normal Java project or Maven Java project. I went with the Maven Java. Both I showed you, but I'm going with the Maven Java project for the next topics. Okay, for all the next topics, I'm going to use Maven project only. Okay, fine. Then what next? Now let's add multiple tests to the same class, guys. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly this is. If you go to this Eclipse IDE, guys, with this project, okay, if you open this login.java, here you see only one unit test is there. Okay, inside this login class, there is only one JUnit unit test is there. So can we create only one JUnit unit test under a class? Can we have more than this single one? Here only one is there. One JUnit unit test is there. Can we have multiple JUnit unit tests inside a single class? Is it possible? Yes, guys, it is possible. Okay. We can add multiple unit tests under a single class. So for example, here login class is there, only one JUnit unit test is there. I'm going to add few more. For example, here public void login with, okay, login with valid username and invalid password. Okay, this is one more unit test. Okay, and here I'll say @test, @test. So system.out.println, and here I'll say inside method having the name as login with valid username and invalid password. Okay, login with valid username and invalid password I'll write. Now I'll create one more unit test. Public void login with invalid username and valid password. Okay, valid password. So third unit test this is. Okay, so how many multiple unit tests you can create, guys? Okay, multiple unit tests you can create using JUnit under the log single class. Okay, so here I'll say system.out.println. I'll say inside method, which method, which unit test actually, login with invalid, username and valid password. Okay, so this is the name of the method, unit test method. Now, how many unit tests are there inside the single class? Three are there. Now let me run the code. Let's see what will happen by default. Okay, when I run this, better to run like this. Okay, right click on this and say run as JUnit test. Okay, all the three. Okay, so always save, guys. So just if you get this kind of dialog, I generally say always save, because I don't have to manually save every time. You see, I got three print statements got printed. Okay, each and every print statement is inside three unit tests. Okay, separate individual unit tests. You see, first which unit test got executed out of these three unit tests? Which unit test got executed? Login with valid username and invalid password. That means last one got executed first. Login with what was that, guys? Let's see. Not last one. Login with valid username, invalid password. That means second one. Okay. Login with valid username and invalid password got executed first. Though it is in the second position, it got executed first, because that's why you see with this print statement we can know, right, which unit test got executed first. So second unit test got executed first. What about the second one? Login with invalid username. That is last one got executed second. Last unit test got executed second. What about the first one? First one got executed last. So what is this order? In which order this multiple unit tests? So since there are multiple unit tests, when I run the test, in which order this individual unit tests are getting executed? Is there any particular order like alphabetical or order or something? No, guys. Okay, they get executed in random order. Okay, they get executed in which order? Random order. Okay, they get executed in random order. So there will not be any particular order, guys. Okay, some random order. What if I want to change the order? I want to change the order, guys. Okay, instead of random order, I want to get them executed in some alphabetical order or something like that with the name of this unit test in alphabetical order. If I want them, then what I have to do is I have to add something here, guys. I'll tell you. So I have to add this particular annotation, guys. Okay, fix method order you have to add. Okay, so here on the top of this class, write at the rate fix method order like this. Okay, at the rate fix method order you write. Now provide the circular brackets. Pour the mouse on this fix method order and import this fix method order from org.jnit. Okay, done. This is the first thing. And inside that, guys, okay, inside that you have to add few more things. That is method sorters. Okay, just say method sorters dot and select name ascending. Okay, select name ascending. At the rate fix method order method sorters dot name ascending. The moment you add this particular line before the class, all these unit tests will get executed in ascending order according to their names. Okay. So if you see here, guys, okay, just compare the names of these unit test methods. Okay. So login with is same. Here also login with is same. So login with is same. So alphabetically, all three are same. But here, if you see, next letter is V. Here V, and here I. Which one comes in alphabetical order? I will come first or V will come first? I will come first, right? A B C D E F G H I. We will come very later. Okay. So that means alphabetically this will come first. Then again, the remaining two, which one will be executed alphabetically first? Okay, this one will get executed first because I is alphabetically in the first position. So V and V, but here valid is same, with valid is same, with valid is same, but here C is there, here U is there. Okay, C comes first. That means this one will be executed first, this one will be executed second alphabetically, and last one will be this one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Last one will be first one will be second, and the second one will be third. Okay, like that, because ascending order according to the unit testing method, JUnit unit test method names, in ascending order they will get executed, guys. Okay, let's run this login. Right click on the login and say run as JUnit test. You see all the three unit tests got executed, but this time alphabetical order of the names. You see, as I mentioned, invalid username. Okay, the last one got executed first, then first one, that is, got executed second, and second one got executed third. Okay, fine. If you are still not satisfied, okay, if you are still not satisfied with this ascending order, let's say you want this particular thing to be executed first, this one, this unit test to be executed second, and this one to be executed third. How, guys? How can we change the order? How to change the custom order? For that, guys, you see here already ascending is there. So manually just type something like this, test underscore a underscore. Okay, here test, sorry, here test underscore b underscore. Okay, if you want this one to be first, give test a will come first, right? Here b will come second. Now if I give c here, you see, like this you can manually customize the order in which this particular methods has to run. Now test a will execute first, test b next, test c third. Okay, run this code. Right click, run as JUnit test. This time login with valid credentials first, then login with valid username, invalid password. Second one is second, third one is third. You see, login with invalid username and valid password is third. Okay, fine. So fine, guys. So this is how, guys, we can change the order. Okay, so only way is to make it ascending and give our own names. Okay, just add some more names like test A, test B to the existing method name so that they will get executed in the required order of yours. Okay, fine. So if you have multiple tests and if you run, they get generally run in random order, and you can actually run them in ascending order. On the top of that, if you want to run them in in your own order, then change the names of the methods in ascending format. Okay, so that based on the ascending format, the required methods will run first for you. Okay, so like the way I just now showed you. Now, guys, so adding methods, multiple tests to the same class is done. Okay, fine. Now Next thing is ignoring the tests from execution. Okay, so here how many tests are there? How many unit tests are there inside this login class? 3 unit tests, first, second, third. Let's say I don't want to run the second one. Okay, I want to only two out of these three I want to run. I don't want to run the one of them. So what I have to do? Instead of, I don't want to delete this also. I don't want to remove this. Okay, because tomorrow I may want to run it. Okay, today I don't want to run, but tomorrow I may have to run the second one, but today I don't want to run. In such kind of situation, how to disable this unit test? For that, guys, you see on the top of this particular unit test, you just need to provide one more annotation, that is at the rate ignore annotation. The moment you add this at the rate ignore annotation from JUnit, okay, import this ignore annotation from JUnit. Once you import this ignore annotation from JUnit, then run this, guys. This time only this one and this test, this unit test and this unit test will run, whereas this one won't run. Okay, run this code, right click, run as JUnit test. You see only one will run, only two will run, one will not run. Whatever you ignored will not run. You see login with valid credentials got run, that is the first one. And last one, that is login with invalid username and valid password will run. Okay, but second one, login with valid username and invalid password didn't run. Okay, because we have put at the rate ignore. There is another alternative way also, guys. Okay, you can disable this unit test from running by adding this annotation on the top of that. Wherever you provide this annotation, that unit test will not run. That is one way, but there is one more way also. Okay, so there is one more way also, guys. Like this we can do, or for example, if I don't provide at the rate ignore and still I don't want this particular unit test to run, in that case, guys, in the first line of this unit test, just add one line. Okay, you just need to add like assume dot something. Okay, I'll tell you here, assume dot assume assume dot assume true. Okay, assume dot assume true, and inside the true give false. That's it. Inside this assume true, just give false. If you write this line also, the same thing will happen. Okay, even though you didn't have provided at the rate ignore annotation here, without having that ignore annotation also, by writing this line also same thing will happen, guys. This unit test will run, this unit test will run, but the unit test having this particular line saying assume dot assume true. Okay, so here assume is one of the predefined class in JUnit. Okay, so it has one predefined method like assume true, and by passing that as false, you see this test unit test will not get run. Okay, this will not run. Okay, it will be ignored or disabled. Run this again, only two unit tests will run. The first one will run login with valid credentials because there's no line there. Last one will run invalid username and valid password, but second won't will run. Okay, second won't run, guys, because we have added this particular line. Okay, there are two ways to do this, guys. Okay, either you can add this annotation or you can add this line. Okay, both will ignore the test from execution. Both will ignore the unit test from execution. Now, like this, guys, there are many things that you have to learn about JUnit, guys. Okay, step by step we are going to learn. So how to add multiple tests I showed you. How to ignore the test from execution I showed you in different ways. Now, the next important topic, kind of, it's these topics were very simple and easy, guys. Okay, uh, that is very in less time I explained about these two topics, but this one will take some time, guys. Okay, parameterizing test will take some time, but it's kind of very good. Okay, very interesting topic, you can say. What is parameterization test and all? I will explain you now, right now. But what exactly is this parameterization? Okay, what exactly is parameterization? Let me explain that first. Okay, before implementing that particular thing like parameterizing test in JUnit and all, what exactly is meant by parameterization? First of all, parameterization means what? You see, parameterization means, let's say there is one test. Okay, there is one JUnit unit test. When you run the JUnit unit test, how many times it will be executed, guys? Only one time, right? Generally, it will be executed one time. Okay, but what if there are multiple sets of data? But the same unit test need to be executed with multiple sets of data, guys. Okay, the same unit test need to be executed with, for example, this is a login with valid credentials or some method is there. That unit test method need to be executed with different credentials. Okay, 4 to 5 credentials are there. Okay, first user credentials, it has to first username password. You have to check whether login or not. Second, username password. Again, you see, third set of username password, fourth set of username password, fifth set of username password, but test is same, guys. Data is different. The unit test is same, but the data that you are passing to the unit test is different. So how, if you have 5 sets of data here, how many times this particular unit test has to run? 5 times. Okay, we have to run this unit test 5 times. But is it good idea to copy paste this unit test 5 times and for individual unit test give the different type of credentials, usernames and password? That is not the right approach. Instead, we have to write the unit test only once, but we should be able to pass this multiple sets of data to this unit test and should be able to run the same unit test 5 times with the different sets of data. And that is possible with the help of parameterization. Okay. So with JUnit parameterization, we can achieve this where only one unit test will be written, but different sets of data will be there. And for each and every set of data, this particular unit test will run. Okay. For each and every set of data, this particular unit test will run. That is called as parameterization, guys. How to achieve this parameterized test? I'll explain now. Okay. Step by step. Okay. For this, guys, I'll go with another class. Let's go with another class, guys. I'll just name this class as some sample class, guys. Okay. Okay. Some sample class. Okay. Sample. Finish. And inside the sample class, guys, I'll create a method, public void. I'll say public void login method. Let's say login, simple login method I'll create. Okay. And this is a test method, guys, at the rate test. I'll say, okay, this is a unit test, login unit test. Okay. Import this. Here only one unit test is there. I'm not going to write 5 unit tests. If I have 5 sets of data, I'm not going to write this particular unit test. I'm not going to repeat 5 times. Only one time it will be there. But what I'm going to do here is, so coming to the data, guys, let me prepare the data. I'll first create the data. String username is one thing. String password is another thing. Okay, like this two things. Each and every set of data should have a username password, right? For logging into an application account, user account should have username password, right? So these two variables I'll create first. Okay, first I'll create this two variables. Okay. Then after creating these two variables, guys, I'll create a constructor. We need to create a constructor after creating these two variables. In order to initialize these two variables, in Java, we have to create a constructor. How to do that? Public. You have to give public, and name of the class should be the name of the constructor, like this. And here, this particular constructor will have the same parameters. That is string username and string password will be the parameters. String username comma string password will be the parameters. Now, this particular parameter I need to assign to the sample class username. Okay, this particular parameter I need to assign the password of this particular class. But how to differentiate this username from this username? And because this is a parameter, this is a class variable. This is a parameter of this constructor, and this is a class variable. So how to differentiate? We have a keyword in Java known as this keyword, guys. If I use this dot username, then this username belongs to this one. Okay, class username. This dot username is equal to this username. Okay, is equal to username. Now this dot password is equal to this dot password is equal to this particular password. Okay, this particular password. Done. Like this, I have to initialize the parameters of the constructors with this class variables. This is next thing. What else I have to do before proceeding further to make that parameterized test possible here in JUnit? Okay, we have to first create these variables, then we have to create this constructor and initialize this parameters with this class variables. And not only that, guys, before this class, on the top of this class, we have to add some annotation here. At the rate run with annotation, we have to add. Okay, at the rate run with annotation, we have to add. So provide the circular brackets here and hold the mouse on the at the rate run with and simply import this run with from this JUnit runner. Okay, run this. Okay. So what is the problem? Missing attributes are there. We have to pass the attributes, guys. What attributes we have to pass? We have to simply pass this attribute known as parameterized dot class. Okay, let's pass that parameterized dot class. Like this, we have to pass. Once we pass this parameterized dot class argument to this particular at the rate run with annotation, then the error is gone. Okay, this step we have to write, guys. Otherwise, parameterization will not happen. Okay. Next what? Next, guys. Next, creating variables is done. Providing this annotation along with this argument before the class is done. Now, constructor creation is also done. Initializing of the class variables with the constructor parameters is also done. Now, we also created test method here. You see, already test method is also ready. Login test method. Right now, the next thing is, okay, create a static method. We have to create one static method, guys. Okay, just to supply the data. Okay, how many sets of data? Let's say you want to run this particular you want to run this test method, let's say with 4 sets of data. This JUnit unit test need to run 4 times because 4 sets of data are there. to supply the data. Okay, to supply the data to this test method, we need to create one more method, guys, that is public static. I'll simply say void for now, but I'll change the return type later. Okay, this is not the final return type. Public static void, and say some supply data or whatever it is. Okay, you can give different names for that, guys. Okay, so supply data or whatever the method. Okay, get data, supply data, data supplier, like that. You can give any names for this method. Okay, it can be any name. That's okay. So how this particular method can supply the data inside this method, guys? Inside this particular method, which is going to supply the data to this test method, I'm going to create a two-dimensional object array. Okay, like this object, like this. Okay, two-dimensional object array. Obj is equal to new two-dimensional object array. I need to give. Okay, like this, guys. Okay, two-dimensional object array is equal to new two-dimensional object array. Here, how many are there in each and every set? How many variables are there? How many sets of data are there in each and every set? Only username and password are there. So I'll just give the last number as 2. One is for username, other one is for password. Okay. Here 2 I am mentioning this. Only username, password are there. So 2. But how many sets of data? How many sets of this username, password that I have to give here, guys? Okay. Let's say 4 sets of data. 4 usernames and passwords. Okay. Like that. Like that, we have to create this object array, two-dimensional object array. Now let me add some data, guys. I'll add some data like object dot, not object dot, sorry, object. Just give these two square brackets here and say here 0 1. This is the first set of data, guys. First set of username and password that I'm going to pass to this test method. So here I'll say username as Arun, I'll give, and second one object 0. Sorry, this is 0 0, guys. Okay, I should not give 0 1 because index with 0 starts with 0 in Java, right? 0 0, and here 0 1. Okay, and here I'll give the password, guys. It can be anything. For example, I'll give password as pass. Okay. Next one, object. Second set of data I'm going to give, guys. Okay. You see, every set of data will have a username and password. That's why 2 is there. How many sets of data are there? 4. So first set is done. Second set is now beginning. Okay. Second set is equal to, let's say, Varun. And here I'll give 1 0 0 0 0 1 is done. Now 1 0 1 1 will come. Okay. 1 1 1 1 is the password. 1 1 is the password. 1 1 is equal to, I'll give the password as, let's say I'll give the password as 1 2 3 4 is the password. Okay. Some random password I'm giving. Now third set of data, guys. Okay. Third set of username and password here. That is 2 0 is equal to, I'll give that as, it's a Tarun. Okay, is a username, and password I'll give 2 1. Okay, I'll give the password here. Okay, I'll give the password, guys. That is SECO. Okay, some password, some random password. Then the fourth set of data, that is 3 0 3 0. I'll give something like Kishore or something. And here I'll say obj 3 1, I'll say, and is equal to, I'll give ABCD is the password I will give. Okay. Now how many sets of data are there? First set of data, second set of data, third set of data, fourth set of data. But how many unit tests are there? Only one unit test is there. So that means this particular unit test should run how many times? 4 times. But how to make it run? How to pass this data one by one? Each and every set of data, how to pass and run this particular test for each and every set of data. For that, guys, we have to return this, guys. Okay, we have to return this. Okay. So how we are going to return here is, the return type we have to mention here is collection, guys. Okay. Collection of, inside that, the generic type of the collection. For the mouse and collection, import this collection from java.util package. And the generic type, we have to give that as single dimensional object array. I'll give. Okay. Single dimensional object array is the collection of generic type as single dimensional object array. But how to convert this object array, two-dimensional object array, into this collection of object array? How to do that? For that, guys, we have a predefined class in Java known as arrays class. Okay, arrays dot as list. Okay, convert this two-dimensional object array into a list. Okay, to the list. As list of what? Which one? This obj you give here. This two-dimensional object array will be converted into a list of single dimensional object array. How? If I have to diagrammatically represent, I'll tell you guys how it will be there. So here two-dimensional object array will be converted into a list. For example, this is a list. Now this list contains how many? Once it is converted to list, it will contain how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it will be converted like this, guys. Okay. The first list element will have the first set of data in the form of object array. Okay. So like this. This is a list, guys. Okay. This is a list. Collections is a list. We are converting this arrays two-dimensional object array into list. So assume that this is a list of elements. Each and every list element is what? Each and every list element is what? Object array. A single dimensional object array. How the single dimensional object array will be there like this? Okay. Each and every element of this list is an object array. Single dimensional object array. In the first one, what will be there? Here Arun will be there. Okay. Here Arun will be there, the first value, and here that password will be there. Okay. Password. Similarly, another single dimensional object array will be here. In that Varun and this will have Varun and this will have 1, 2, 3, 4. And another third element of the list also will have. Okay. Once you convert the two-dimensional object array into a list, it will be like this, guys. Okay. Internally, it will contain the third set of data, that is Tarun and Seku. Okay. And Kishore and ABCD will go into the last element of the list. Last list element, and in that list element is also in a single dimensional object array. It is also a single dimensional object array that will contain Kishore and ABCD. Okay, this is the process, guys. This is the process. Now, this thing I have to return, guys. Okay, after converting the two-dimensional object array into a list of single dimensional object array, I can now return because list can be stored in the collection. Collection is a parent of the list, so that's okay. So this part is done, guys. Now what I have to do next? So this is a static method or not? You see, this is compulsory static, guys. If you don't give static here, you're going, when you run the code, you'll get the errors. Okay. So you have to follow few things strictly. Okay. Otherwise things will not happen for you. So I returned it, guys, from the list, and now let's run the class and see whether it is working fine or not. Okay. Let's see. Let's run this. Let's run this and see. Before running, guys, I have to do few more things here. Okay. Before running this, I have to do few more things. What I will do here is I'll simply say I'll just write some code inside the test, because you see this test method will run 4 times because 4 sets of data are there, but that's okay. But what should be printed? For that, guys, just to print some sample data, I'll print some username and password. Okay. For the first set, what is the username and password I want to print? Okay. So already this is a global variable. Username and password are the global. So I'll simply say username plus use some colon just to separation purpose, and plus password. Okay, like this. So this unit test will be running 4 times because 4 sets of data are passed by this supply data method. Okay. Okay, now run this code, guys. Let's run this code and see what is happening. Run this sample. So the same, only one unit test is there, guys, but it will be run 4 times because 4 sets of data are there here in this supply data method. Okay. Now you see, I'll run this class and you will see that the single unit test will be run 4 times. So there is some problem, guys. Okay. What is the problem here? Let's see. What is the problem here? Something should be public, guys. I didn't make something as public. What is that? Something that should be public here. Okay, let's see. No public static parameters method on class sample. Okay. So what is that? It should be public. I'm missing something, guys. Okay, let's see. Where is that? Something should be public. I'm missing. This is fine. Creating variables is fine. Constructor is fine. Test method is fine. Okay. You see here, I forgot to provide this at the rate parameters annotation. You see. So I forgot to provide this. So you see, before this supply data, you have to pass that at the rate parameters. Okay, this annotation I have to provide. Okay, this is one thing I was missing. Okay, I was looking for that, but I forgot. Parameters. Import this parameters from JUnit. Okay. Now run this again. Now run this again, guys. So if you do some mistakes here, you see this kind of errors you will get, guys. You'll not understand also. So run this. Right click, run as JUnit test. You see how many times it has run inside the sample class. The same unit test, that is login unit test. You see, the login unit test has run how many times? The login unit test has run how many times? 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time. 4 times it has run. Every time it has run, it has supplied one set of data. You see, in the first time when the login test has run, login unit test has run, login JUnit unit test has run, it supplied this particular supply data method has, which is provided with this annotation, has supplied first set of data. Arun pass has been supplied. In the second run, you see, it has run for second time when Varun 1, 2, 3, 4 got supplied. It has run for the third time when Tarun SECO got supplied. It has run for the fourth time when Kishore ABCD got supplied. Okay, like this guys. Okay, 4 times it has run. 4 times the same unit test got executed. Fine. So this is what is parameterizing the test case. Okay, if you have multiple sets of data and only one JUnit unit test, then we have to parameterize it. Okay, like this. By writing this kind of code, you have to parameterize guys. Okay, so before the class, you have to provide this annotation, and you have to create a constructor to initialize these variables, and you have to create the test method. Okay, and you have to create a data supplier method, which should be provided with this @parameters annotation, and it should be of static type guys. Okay, if you miss any of the stuff, right, you'll get this kind of errors whatever I showed you. Okay, and you have to reply this two-dimensional object array in the form of a list. Okay, so that's very important. Fine guys, this is what is a parameterization test in using JUnit. In JUnit, this is how we can parameterize the unit test. Same test we can run with multiple sets of data. That is called as parameterization test. Now guys, we have different type of assertions. Okay, the next topic we have is assertions. Let me explain about us using assertions for validation. Okay, what exactly is this assertion, and what exactly are these assertions in JUnit, and how we can use them for validation purpose. Let me explain that. Okay, let me demonstrate this by creating a new class here. So here I'll go to the project, and under the project you see already login sample are already there. I'll create one more. Let's say search. Okay, I'll simply say search. Some search class. Click on finish. Inside the search, I'll write the method. Okay, public void, and I'll say search for a valid product. Okay, like this I'll just create some sample method, and I'll convert this normal method into the JUnit unit test method by writing @test here. Import this from JUnit, and inside this unit test method guys, I'll write some automation code now. Okay, so I just want to demonstrate all these assertions, how they will be used in real time. For that purpose guys, I'll be writing some Selenium automation code. So before I write any Selenium automation code here, I need to configure this project with two libraries. That is what one is WebDriver Manager and other one is the Selenium library. Okay, so first I'll go with the WebDriver Manager. If I start typing here WebDriver Manager, okay, I'll write some sample Selenium automation code here. So if I write this WebDriver Manager and say dot using, nothing will come up because this WebDriver Manager library is not already configured with this project. So I'll open this pom.xml file. Here we have the dependency tags of only JUnit, and apart from that guys, I'll add the dependency tags for other things like I'll go to the MVN repository here. I'll add the dependency tags for WebDriver Manager first. WebDriver Manager like this, and click on search, and I got this WebDriver Manager. Click on this. In the search results, we got the latest version of WebDriver Manager as 5.0.3 as per today's date. Whatever the latest version is available for you, you can take that. Okay, copy that and paste the dependency tags for WebDriver Manager here. Done. Now save this. The moment you save, the libraries for this WebDriver Manager will be automatically downloaded and configured in this project. Now you expand this Maven dependencies, you see a lot of libraries came up from WebDriver Manager. Okay, so let's close this and now go here back and say WebDriver Manager dot WebDriver Manager dot. Now this time you see it's accessible, right? Chrome driver dot setup I will say. Now the next line I will write here is I'll write WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver I will write. The moment I write this, I need to import this WebDriver interface from Selenium library and Chrome driver predefined class from Selenium library. But you cannot do that. You see, when I hover the mouse, you see no import statements are coming because this project is only configured with JUnit and WebDriver Manager libraries, but not with this Selenium library. Then how to configure that Selenium library? Again, open the pom.xml file here along with the JUnit WebDriver. Let's also add the Selenium library. For that, I'll go to the again MVN repository here and search for Selenium Java. In the search results, I got Selenium Java. Let me click on this. And the latest stable version we have is 4.1.2. Let's try this version. Copy that and paste it here. Okay. Now guys, after pasting this Selenium version, let me save this. Let me save this. The libraries of this Selenium Java will be automatically downloaded against this particular 4.1.2 version, which is latest as per today's date. This 4.1.2 is latest. Okay, so they will be downloaded and automatically configured in this project. Now go back here and import this WebDriver for the mouse and import this WebDriver interface from Selenium library and also Chrome driver class also from the Selenium library. Now say driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Then I'll say after maximizing the browser, I'll open the application URL in the Selenium. So I'll go here and I want to open this application URL, guys. I'll copy this URL in this driver.get. Okay. So it will open this application URL page here. Then I want to type some valid product name, let's say HP into this. Okay. I want to type HP into the search box field. For that, I need to inspect the search box field. And this is HTML code of the search box field, which has name attribute. So I'll copy this name attribute value and create a locator here. That is name locator. I'll simply say driver dot find element by dot name. I'll provide the name locator for the search box field and say send keys. I'll type the text HP here, okay, into the search box field. You see, before typing some text into this search box field, guys, okay, before writing this particular line, what I will do here is after going to this application URL page, okay, after opening this application URL in the browser, I want to, after opening the application URL in the browser like this, I want to verify the title of this page. You see, the title of the page is your store. Whether your store is coming or not, I want to verify. So here I'll write string expected title. Okay, the expected title of the page should be your store. Okay, your store should be the expected title. What is the actual title? How can we get the actual title? String actual title. We have to get the actual title of the page while running the automation script. Whatever the title of the page is there, that is nothing but the actual title. Okay, so expected is this one. This title should be there. We are expecting as part of software testing and all. But what title is available? What actual title is available that we can get only during the automation. So that too we have to say this WebDriver's driver object reference dot get title. We have to say, okay, this command of Selenium will retrieve the title of the page during the automation script. Now I need to check whether this actual title is matching with our expected title or not. How to do that? How to check whether the actual title that got retrieved using the Selenium automation script is matching with expected title or not. For that, guys, I have to say assert. I told you, right, there are a lot of assert commands, okay, assertions for validations, for verifications. As part of testing, I'm asserting, I'm verifying or validating to see whether the proper title is displayed on the page or not. Okay, so assert dot. So this assert I need to get from JUnit, guys. Okay, this assert thing I need to get from JUnit. Assert dot assert equals. Okay, there's one of the predefined method for this assert class of JUnit, that is assert equals, guys. Okay, I'll go with the assert string comma string and provide a semicolon here. You see, it's striking it off because it's not deprecated, guys. Okay, as you are seeing here, it's not deprecated. Maybe this assert clause got imported from a wrong library. Just go here and you see assert got imported from JUnit.framework. This is not the library, guys. Let me remove this import statement which came automatically. I'll remove that. Now you see assert is giving me this error. And instead of importing the assert from JUnit.framework, you have to import it from org.junit. Okay. Now see, errors are gone. Okay. This is how you need to resolve that, guys. Assert equals. Okay. You have to import it from where, guys? org.junit.assert. Okay, this is the correct one. If it is getting importing from if it is getting importing from another library, it will not work fine. Okay, org.junit framework, that will not work. Okay, org.junit assert only will work. Okay, JUnit framework will not work fine. Anyhow, guys, so this line will verify whether we are getting the proper title or not. Okay, so this is what is expected. If the expected is coming in the actual title by using this automation script or not, we are verifying. If they both match, the test will pass. This JUnit unit test will pass if this assertion passes. Okay. If this comparison is same, then the test will pass. Now let's continue the automation script. So that is after verifying the title here, I will continue the script, guys. Okay. I'll continue the script where I have typed HP into the search box field here. So to this search box field, I have typed HP already. Okay, with this line. And after typing that, I want to click on this button, guys. I'll inspect this button. Let me see the HTML code of this button. You see button tag is there. But how to create the locator for this button? Okay, since I have this XPath creation skills, I can create my own XPath expression. So what I will do is I'll start from here, guys. You see there is some ID for this div tag, which is a parent of this button, somewhere grandparent of this button. So I'll start with this. I'll copy this search. The tag name is div. So I'll say Control F /div at the rate id is equal to. Okay, if you are not familiar with this XPath expressions creation from scratch, watch my other video, guys. Okay, where I explained clearly like how to create the XPath expressions for the this kind of locators and all. Okay, this kind of UI elements and all. Okay, from scratch. So this is one thing, and under this we have button somewhere. I'll say /button. You see button got located. So one of one is coming and it's got located, guys. Okay, it got located. So I'll use this XPath expression to locate that particular button which I want to click on. So I'll simply say driver.find element by.xpath. I'll provide the XPath expression of that button and simply say dot click, guys. Okay, simply say dot click. After clicking on the button, guys, after clicking on this button, you see in the search results. Okay, when I click on this button with HP, in the search results I got this product link, right? Product details came here. I want to verify whether this particular product got displayed or not. How to verify that? For that, guys, I will use one more predefined method of the assert class here. After clicking on the search button, I will say assert dot. This time I will say assert true. Okay, I'll go with another predefined method of the assert. This it's not equals, guys. I'm using assert true, another one. Okay, so here expected actually is there, two string texts are there, so I have used assert equals to compare them. But here I just want to see whether this particular option has been displayed on the page or not. Okay, if it is displayed, it has to return true kind of statement. Here in place of this inside this assert true, guys, I'll simply write driver.find element. I'll inspect this hyperlink, guys, of this product, and you see this is a link text. Some text is there between the tags of this anchor tags. I'll copy this link text and say by.link text. I'll provide the link text of that particular hyperlink and say here I'll say dot is displayed. Okay, there's one predefined command in Selenium which will return either true or false. So this statement will okay, this particular statement will either return true or false. Okay, if this HPLP product has been really displayed on the page, it will return true and the test will pass. If it is not displayed, then this particular statement will return false and the test will fail, guys. Okay, like that. Okay, this is another assertion. So like this, guys, we have to use JUnit assertions. Okay, so there are different type of JUnit assertions. We have assert.assertEquals, assert.assertTrue, like that. Many other things are also there, guys. Okay, in this example, I have shown you two types of JUnit assertions like assertEquals and assertTrue. Okay, in which situations you have to use assertEquals, in which situations you have to use assertTrue, I showed you. Okay, but there are other types of JUnit assertions also. So apart from this assertEquals, assertTrue, there is something like assertFalse. Based on your situation, you have to use assertFalse. If you are expecting something to be false, some UI element should not be displayed on the page, you can go with assertFalse, right? Is displayed command will return false. Okay, if you want to check whether some radio button is not selected, okay, there is some command like is selected that you can use with the Selenium and it will return false. So like that kind of things you can use assertFalse, guys. Okay, like that kind of things you can use assertFalse. I cannot explain each and every command for you, but assertFalse will be expecting false. Okay, here there is one more command known as assertFail, guys. Based on some situation, I want to fail it. Okay, if some situation occurs, I want to fail it, guys. Okay, I want to fail it. If a situation occurs, I want to fail it, then I have to say assert.fail. Okay, like that many things are there, guys. Okay, so if I say assert.fail, right, without anything, it will fail the test. Okay, so fine. Anyhow, we first will look into this assert equals assert true, guys. Okay, whether they are working fine or not. Here, one place I use assert equals, one of the JUnit assertions for validation purpose, where I am checking the title of the page. Whereas another place I use assertTrue to see whether this search functionality is working fine or not, whether we got the proper product displayed in the search results or not. Okay, for that I use assertTrue. Finally, I'll say driver dot I'll quit the browser, guys. Okay, at the end I'll quit the browser. Okay, it will be kind of fast, guys. If required, it will be fast, or else I'll comment this out. Let's see what will happen. Okay, right click run as JUnit test. So let's see what will happen here. It has to open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser, and open the application URL, and then it has to verify the title, do the assertion, and it has to search, and if the product is displayed, it has to pass the another assertion also. Okay, so it's taking. You see, guys, there is some problem here. What is the problem? What's the problem here? So the script is not running here, right? And the script is not running somehow. So did I do any mistake? Let's see. Right click run as JUnit test. Again, I am running. It's not running, guys. Somehow it's not running, and also here I'm getting an error saying that some error is coming. Okay, so this kind of errors you get generally when there is a problem with the Selenium version, guys. Okay, so this version got recently updated, but it looks like there is some problem with the Selenium version we are using. What is the Selenium version we are using in this project? If you go to this form.xml file, you can see the I'm using the 4.1.2 version, guys. Okay, this is the latest version as per today. Maybe this particular version has some defects or so. So what I will do is I'll just downgrade this version to the previous version. I know that 4.1.1 was working very fine. Okay, 4.1.2 there may be some issues, but 4.1.1 was working very fine. So let me try with the older version. If in case the latest version is not working, try with the older version. Okay. Now let me run this code again. After downgrading the version to the previous version, let me see whether it will work or not. It has started running. You see the now it is working, guys. Okay, so if you get such kind of errors, you can just downgrade your version. Okay, it's loading the application URL. Sometimes, guys, this application will take a lot of time. Okay, you don't have to wait so much of time, guys. This is not a real, you are not really automating, right? So this is a dummy thing, right? As a sample, you are automating this and all. Okay, in this case, guys, just hit enter here. Okay, in real projects, don't do this, guys. Whatever I'm doing this only for demonstration, just to save your time. Okay, just to save my time during this demo, I just want to hit that. Okay, so you see HP has been typed, the button has been clicked. In the search results, we got this link, and also as you can see here, the test got passed. That means this particular assertion got passed, this particular assertion also got passed. Okay, both the assertions got passed. Okay, both the assertions got passed. Fine. What if I give something wrong with this? For example, you see, I'll expect a wrong title here. For example, I'll expect for ABC. Okay, your store ABC. This one I will expect, but actual will not be your store ABC. What will happen, guys? Intentionally, this will fail, right? This particular assertion will fail because expected title is your store ABC, but actual title will be your store. Will it match? No. In that case, this particular assertion will fail. Let's see whether the assertion is failing or not. JUnit assertion is should fail this time because I am expecting a different title here this time. Okay, but actual title will be something different and the expected title is different. In that case, the test will fail. And let's see what will happen if the test fails. So if it is taking too much time, I have to hit it, guys. Okay, just for demo purpose, not in real time. You see, it has not typed HP here, and it has not searched for the product here. No such results came. That means somehow the script stopped somewhere. Okay, let's see what happened. You see that the JUnit test got failed. Okay, this particular search for a valid product got failed. Why? Because what is the reason why it got failed? If I select this, you see here we got the result. Okay, comparison failure. It was expecting your store ABC, but actual title of the page is your store. But expected title of the page is your store ABC, but actual page title is your store, which is not matching. That's why the script got failed here. Okay, at this particular line, the automation script, this assertion got failed, guys, and when the assertion fails, when this JUnit assertion fails, okay, it has stopped the program at the line 23 itself. The program got stopped and remaining lines didn't get executed. Okay, the remaining lines of code didn't happen, guys. Okay, this remaining 3 lines after this assertion statement which got failed didn't run. So what we have to do, guys? Okay, let's say because you see sometimes what happens is you see title is not a big deal, right? Okay, so since because there is a wrong title, we should not stop our script from execution, right? We are actually checking the search functionality of this application. We are searching for this HP product and whether proper HP product is coming or not. We are just checking. Search functionality of the application is working or not, checking. But just because there is a wrong title, should we have to stop the script here? No, right? In this situation, we should not stop. If this assertion is very important assertion, then we can stop. This kind of behavior is fine. But just for the sake of the title, there is a mistake in the title. You are not checking the search functionality of the application. That is wrong, guys. Okay. The major functionality of the application you are not checking just because there is a problem with the this title of the page. You are stopping the script from execution. That is wrong behavior, guys. Okay. We should not do that. For small things, we should not stop the script from execution. For big things, we can stop. Okay. If something, for example, login functionality, you are not able to log in. Okay. Then we can stop the script. That because without login, we cannot do anything. But here, title, just as matter of title, right? The title may be wrong or right. That's okay. But the script has to continue the execution, right? But how can we run this despite of this assertion, failure of this assertion? Because this particular script has multiple assertions. One assertion at line 23, another assertion at line 29. A script can have multiple assertions. Since because only one assertion got failed, why should we stop the script from execution, right? The script has to continue, guys. How to make the script continue? In Java, guys, we have some concept known as exception handling, right? So to handle an exception, what we do, guys, generally we use try catch blocks. So we have to surround this. If you want to continue the script despite of this assertion getting failed, what we have to do is we have to surround this particular statement with try block. Let's surround this statement with try block. And if this particular statement fails, this assertion fails, in that case, we have to catch it, okay? Catch, and if I will say exception here, okay, exception E and say system.out.println E dot get message. Okay, the reason for the exception I'll get. But the problem here is this statement, when this assertion, JUnit assertion fails, it will not be able to, this exception class of Java may not be able to catch this assertion failure. Okay. Why? Because I'll tell you guys, you just run the script, you see, uh, this particular exception will not be handled, guys. Okay. Whatever the assertion failure will not be handled by this catch block because exception is not capable enough. If you run the script, you'll get the same result, guys. Okay. Despite of handling the exception also, you'll get the same failure and all those stuff. Let's see that again. Okay. I'll show you. Later, I'll tell you one more solution to solve this problem. Just see here, the script will still fail, guys. Okay. The script will still fail and it will stop the execution there itself without handling that assertion part. Sometimes the application will take a lot of time. Just hit it, guys. Okay. Hit it. To save your time, you need to hit it. You see, multiple times I hit it, but it's not happening. You see, this time it worked out. But you see, HP is not typed, the search button is not clicked, and we didn't get the search results. Here, guys, at this place, again, the same thing happened, guys. Okay, the same thing happened. That is, again, this particular statement has failed, and catch block has not handled this particular part. This assertion has not been handled by the catch block. Again, you see, at line 24, there is a failure and it stopped there itself. The remaining steps didn't get executed. So what's the problem with this try catch block? Thing is, here we should not be using exception, guys. We have to use even more higher one. Okay, a parent of the exception class we have in Java is a throwable, right? There's something known as throwable predefined class in Java which can handle any type of exception. Even exception also cannot handle that throwable can handle. Okay, most of the things can be handled by throwable. Few things cannot be handled by exception class. In that case, we have to go with throwable. This time, guys, this particular field assertion will be handled by this throwable. We'll see that this time the script should continue the execution, the search should happen and all those stuff, guys. Okay, let's see, let's run this code. The script should run this time, guys. Okay, without any if despite of this assertion failure, the script should continue the execution because we have properly handled the exception this time. You see, despite of the exception here where the title of the page is not matching, that is your store ABC expected title is not matching with the actual title your store. Despite of that, you see HP has been typed, the button has been clicked, we got in the search results also. That means the script has continued, right? But the problem here is, you see, There's a problem with the script, right? Expected is your store ABC. Because of this reason, this assertion at line 24 got failed, but the script continued. But if an assertion is failed, okay, if an assertion is failed, that's okay. You handled the assertion and you continued the script. That is okay, guys. But you see, the test is in failure. It should fail, right? That if at least one assertion in this particular script fails, that test should not pass. This particular JUnit test should fail, but it is passing. Why? Because we handled it. When we handle this assertion, the test is passing, guys. Okay. How to overcome this problem? I want to handle the assertion to continue the script, but not to pass the script, guys. Okay. Because assertion has failed here means, you see, you already got the this details of the assertion. Okay. Why the assertion got failed, you got the details of the assertion here. But the problem here is the test got passed despite of the assertion got failed. It should not be the case. Okay, even after handling the assertion also, if the one of the assertion out of the all the assertions fails, then the orally the test should fail, guys. Okay, the JUnit test should fail. But here, since we handled it, is passing. So what we have to do here to overcome that problem, guys, we'll use something known as a concept known as error collector concept. Okay. Okay, to overcome this problem, if one of the assertion fails and we have to fail the test and continue the script, in that case we have to use error collector, guys. How to use that? How to do that? So this is the concept, guys. We have to use error collector to overcome this problem. So how to use error collector is, we need to first create an object for this error collector. Okay, let's create an object for the error collector. So here, guys, directly inside the class, I'll create an object for the error collector. This predefined class from JUnit, guys. Okay, I will say EC is equal to new error collector. I will say error collector, not collection, guys. I typed collection, so it's collector actually. Okay. Hold the mouse on this error collector and import this error collector from JUnit Library. Fine. On the top of this error collector, guys, you have to give an annotation. Okay, I'll just show you what is annotation you have to give. At the rule annotation you have to give. Okay, what is annotation you have to mention about this object creation statement of error collector? At the rate rule I have to give. Now hold the mouse on at the rate rule and import this rule from JUnit. Okay, so now add error in catch block. Okay, now let's add the error in the catch block. So what I mean is, okay, so since you have handled the exception, so since you have handled the assertion here, the test is passing, guys. Okay, even though the assertion is failing, the test is passing. That should not happen. So that's the reason I added this. I created the object for the error collector and added this annotation. Now using this object reference here, so here I'll simply say ec dot error collector dot add error. I will say, okay, in the catch block of this failed assertion, I'll say ec dot add error, and here I'll pass this object reference of this robel, that is exception or whatever that is. Okay, just put this. That's it. Now what else we have to do? Let's see. Now run the failed test, guys. This time you see the assertion will be handled, guys. Okay, even though it's failed, the script will continue because it is handled, but the test will not pass, guys. Okay, because of this error collector, the test will fail, because if one of the assertion fails, the test has to fail, guys. There are two assertions here. If one of the assertion fails, the test has to definitely fail even though you handle it. Okay, that's why we are using the error collector here. Okay, there is a problem. The problem is very simple, guys. Okay, the problem is very simple. You have to make this statement public, guys. Okay, you see here, I have to make it public. I forgot to make it public. Okay, if you don't make this particular thing public, you will get that error. Okay, this error you will get, initialization error kind of thing you will get. Just make this statement public. Now run this code. You see it's running now. The title will not match, the assertion will fail, but it will be handled, and also the test will fail, guys. Okay, even after handling that, you see everything what happened properly. It continued the script, even though one of the assertion failed in between, it continued the script. The product is everything got displayed, right? You see we got the assertion error details also we got. You see the script got continued, and also the test got failed here. This is what is important. That's why, okay, to get this kind of failure, we have implemented the error collector. If at least one assertion fails also, the test has to fail. Okay, the script has to continue and the test has to fail. Okay, so this is what is expected, guys. Remove this Next time onwards, the browser has to close, guys. Okay, and I don't want to keep the instances open. Okay, automation script instance open. I don't want to do that. Browser instances. I just want to close every time. Fine, guys. So that's what is error collector, guys. That's why we have to use error collector. And now if you run the script will be running fine. It will fail, guys, because one of the assertion is failing, so it will fail. This time the browser also should close. Last statement is driver.quit. So it's taking some time. Sometimes it takes time. Just need to hit it, guys. Okay. For demo, this is fun. You see, the browser also got closed. The script got executed till end, and this assertion got failed, and that's the reason the test got failed, even though it's handled in between. Okay. Fine. Great. Now, guys, what we can do next? Next one is about the. So these two things I didn't explain, guys. Okay, I'll explain at the end if required. Okay, these two assertions, two other type of assertions I'll explain you later. Okay, at the end I'll try to explain. But let's continue the flow, guys. Okay, error collector is done. Let's go with the batch execution now. So, guys, here how many Java files are there? Login. This login has its own. You see, it has 3 JUnit tests, whereas another one is sample. Sample has one. You see, parameterized test, which will run multiple times for each and every set of data. It will run 4 times. It will run. That is there. Another search is there. Just now I implemented this, right? And which is going to fail also. Okay. So fine. These 3 Java files are there. If I have to run them, generally till now, guys, we are running one by one. Okay. Only individually we are running. For example, if I want to run all this unit tests inside the login, I have to right click run as JUnit test. Only the unit tests that are there in the login will run. You see, one got ignored because you see here I added assume true. That's why it's ignored, guys. Remaining 2 got run. That's fine. Okay. Anyhow, so again, if I have to run unit test related to sample, I have to open sample and I have to run this one, right? Only the unit test that is JUnit test that is there in the sample will run. If I have to run the unit test that is there in the unit tests that are there in the search, I have to run the search.java using JUnit. Instead of doing that, guys, what I want to do this time is I want to run all the things. These 3 things I want to run. At a go, I want to run. At a go, I want to run login, sample, search. Single run, all this unit tests inside all these classes should run. Java files should run. What I have to do? For that, guys, we have to follow this approach. Okay. This batch execution I'm going to explain now. Okay. If you want to run multiple Java files using JUnit as a batch, then what we have to do is first we have to create a class here, guys. Okay. Just create. Okay. Just create a new class. You can give any name, guys. For example, runner you can give. Some people will give test runner. Some people will give custom runner. Like that, many names they will give. I'll just give some simple runner. That's okay. Click on finish. After creating that, we have to provide some annotations on the top of this runner, guys. So I'll give some annotation, guys. That is run with annotation. At the rate run with annotation from JUnit circular brackets. Hover the mouse, import this run with from JUnit runner. Now this requires an argument. The missing attribute is there. So here I have to say suite dot class. Okay, suite dot class. Done. This is what I have to do. That's the first annotation. And one more annotation I have to give below this run with, that is at the rate suite classes at the rate suite classes and give circular brackets. For the mouse, import the suite classes also from JUnit. Inside that, guys, create an array. Okay, you know the shortcut representation of an array, right? It will start with opening curly brace and closing, ends with ending curly brace. Okay, closing curly brace. In between that, you have to give the list of array elements. Here, instead of giving some values or something, I'll give the names of these files that I want to run as a batch. I want to run login.java. So here I have to give login.class. I have to give, instead of Java, I have to give dot class. Okay, comma. What else I want to run as a batch? Together, what files I want to run? that I have to provide inside this annotation of this runner class. First login.java. Then I want to run sample.java. Instead of that sample.java, I have to give sample.class. Then I want to run the unit test from the search.java. So I have to give search.class like this. Now, after this, save this. And now run this, guys. Run this runner.java. If you run this runner.java, all the Java files that you have mentioned in this annotation of this runner class, all of them will run. Okay, you'll see that as a batch they will run with a single run. Every unit test that we have created so far will run one by one. Everything is running. You see, total login has run, sample has run, search has run. Search got failed. We know that it will fail. One of the assertion will fail in the search. Sample, you see, parameterized test. The same unit test got executed 4 times with different sets of data. We'll get in the output, guys. We will get an output here. You see, this came from parameterized test. For login, one of them got ignored here. You see, one of the unit tests got ignored because there is one statement there. Assume true is there with the false value. Okay, that's why it got ignored, and remaining 2 got executed. First and second. Like this, guys, as a batch we can run use by creating this kind of runner classes and providing this kind of annotations. Okay. So this is how, guys, we can do batch execution using JUnit. Okay, this is how we can do batch execution using JUnit. Now let's go with the next one. Next thing that I'm going to explain about this JUnit is JUnit Annotations. Okay. Next thing is the JUnit Annotations. Let me explain. I have already explained about @test annotation in JUnit, right? Already we were using the @test. For example, if you go to any of the things, you see @test. This annotation I already explained. Okay, there like that many JUnit annotations are there. Apart from this, whatever I have listed down here, there are many JUnit annotations like run with, the suit classes, @rule, and if you go further back into the notes, you see so parameters annotation is there, run with annotation is there, right? Ignore is there. Many annotations are there. Fixed method order annotation is there. JUnit has a lot of annotations, guys. Okay, based on our use we are using. Already I explained, demonstrated a lot of annotations by this time, but this annotation, this other 4 annotations that I highlighted here just now here, now whatever that is highlighted, I didn't explain. Okay, this I am going to explain now. Okay, so the remaining annotations are before, before, after, before class, and after class. These 4 annotations, if I explain, guys, we are good. Okay. Let me explain this, the remaining 4 annotations here, guys. Okay. Let me explain this remaining 4 annotations now. Before, after, before class, and after class. Okay. So fine. So to explain these annotations, guys, I'll create one more class here. I'll just create one class. I'll just name this already login is there. Just to make it different, guys, I'm just giving login test. Okay, just to make a difference. Click on finish. Inside this login test, I'll create some create one JUnit test, guys. Public void login with, I'll say login with valid credentials. I'll say okay. Login with valid credentials method. I'll say I'll convert this method into the JUnit test test. I'll say it will be converted to JUnit unit test. So inside this, guys, I'll write some automation code. So I want to write the automation code for this scenario, guys. For example, I want to go to this application. Okay, tutorialsninja.com/demo application. I want to go, and I'll from here I want to go to the login page. After going to the login page, I want to enter valid credentials and login and verify whether I got really logged in or not. I want to write that script. Okay, so let me write the automation code in Selenium. WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Okay, just to explain that annotations, I have to write this code. Let me write this so that you can understand the annotations more easily with this real example. So WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. I'll say this will open the Chrome browser. This particular line will open the Chrome browser when executed. Import this WebDriver interface from Selenium and Chrome driver class from Selenium. Now I'll maximize the browser window, driver.manage.window.maximize. Then I will open the application URL. Then I will open the application URL. What application URL? This is the application URL, tutorialsninja.com/demo. Now after opening this application URL, guys, I need to go to the login page. For that, I need to click on this my account. Okay, in order to click on the my account, I will inspect this my account. Using automation, I need to click. So I'll inspect this my account. So when I inspect this, guys, you see my account is coming, some span is there. So I'll create an XPath. I'll copy this text between the span tags, and I'll say Control F here, and here in the displayed search box field, find box field, I'll create an XPath expression of my own. Double slash span text is equal to whatever the text that is there between the tags. You see, it's highlighting only one UI element, that is this HTML. When I hover the mouse, you see my account option on the UI is getting highlighted. So this XPath expression I'll take, and I'll simply say driver dot find element by dot XPath, provide the XPath expression, guys, and say dot click. That's it. Okay, say dot click, guys. So now it will click on this. It will click on the this my account. Once it clicks on the my account, you see we need to select the login option. I inspect this login option now. You see this is an hyperlink and this is the text between the anchor tags. So I can use this as a link text locator, Selenium. So I'll say driver dot find element by dot link text. I'll provide the link text, okay, locator, and say dot click again. Okay, I'll select that login option by click. By clicking that, we were taken to the login page. Now after going to the login page, what we have to do? We have to enter the email address and password here, guys. Okay, I need to enter the email address and password here. I'll inspect this email address. Once I inspect the email address, guys, this is HTML code of the email address, and you see there is some ID attribute value for this email address. I can use this as an ID locator. Copy this ID attribute value and say driver dot find element by dot ID. Provide the ID locator of that email address field and say dot. I need to type text, so I have used send case command. And here I'll type the text, guys. So I need to type the email address, guys. Let's say I want to type an email address, say amotoricap1@gmail.com. Let me type that. Okay, done. Now I need to enter the password, guys. Okay. So when I inspect this password field, this is HTML code of the password field. It also has an ID, guys. So I'll copy this ID, and here I'll say driver dot find element by dot ID. Provide the ID of the password field and say send keys. And here I need to provide the password, guys. Password is 12345 for this account. So I'll enter the same thing here, 12345. Okay. Now I need to click on the login button. Let me inspect the login button. The HTML code of the login button came here. By looking at this HTML code, I'll create an XPath expression or XPath locator to locate this button. So here value attribute value is there. I'll copy this value attributes value and say Control F, tag is input. So double slash input at the rate value is equal to, I'll give the value attribute value of that login button. You see only one element is getting located, that is this HTML code. When I hover the mouse on the HTML code, you see login button is getting highlighted on the UI. Done. This is a proper XPath expression. Copy this. Now come back here and say driver.find element by dot XPath. Here I'll provide the XPath expression of that button and say dot click, guys. Okay. I'll click on the button. The moment I click on the button, guys, you see it is taking me to the, it's getting me logged in. Okay. I got logged in, and here edit your account information is coming. Okay. I'll verify if this edit your account information is displayed. That means we got successfully logged in. Okay. If this edit your account information is displayed, means we got successfully logged in. I'll use assertion here, guys. Okay. I'll use the assertion here. I'll inspect this edit your account information. You see this is HTML code of edit your account information. I can use this as a link text. Okay. Copy this. I'll use assertion like this. Assert true, I'll say. And here I'll write the code driver dot find element by dot link text. Okay. Driver dot by dot link text, and inside the link text I'll provide the link text of that option link. I'll say dot is displayed, guys. Okay. So if it is this particular link is really displayed, then this driver dot find a statement will return true and the test will pass. Okay. Finally, I'll say driver dot quit, guys. Okay. I'll close the browser. Okay. I'll quit the browser. Simple. So this automation script I have written, guys. Okay. So here only one JUnit unit test is there in this login test. So let me run this, guys. Let me run this. Okay. Let me run this. It will work fine, guys. Okay. There is no problem in this. Okay? Let me run this normally. It will run without any problems. We will be able to, it will be very fast also. Just focus. You see, it got logged in and the browser also got closed. What if there is a mistake in this? What if this particular assertion fails? What if you see when the assertion has passed, the browser has quit, right? The browser got closed. The statement got executed. But what if the assertion fails here? The important assertion that I cannot handle using try catch block fails. In that case, this browser will not quit, guys. I'll show you. For example, here we are checking the link text as edit your account information. Intentionally, I'll add ABC so that this particular assertion fails. If in case this particular JUnit assertion fails, this statement will not be executed and the test will fail. See that this time the test will fail and the browser will not quit. Okay, despite of the this particular JUnit test fails because the problem with the assertion is there, the browser will not quit, guys. Okay, you see the browser is not quitting. The reason here is the reason behind that is the JUnit test has failed, guys. Okay, just because the JUnit test has failed here in this line 26, line 28 didn't get run. The browser is still on. You see, browser has not closed. I have to manually close. Despite of whether the assertion passes or fails. Okay, despite of whether the JUnit test fails or passes, I want to close the browser. I don't want to handle this using try catch block. Okay, as I explained already, I don't want to handle that using try catch block. Despite of this particular thing passes or fails, assertion passes or fails, I want to quit the browser. In that case, I cannot go with this, guys. Okay, that is where we will get the use of this one. That is at the rate after. Okay, at the rate after annotation will come to use. I'll tell you what I will do. Here I'll create one method, guys. Public void. You can give any name here. Some people will give closure like this. Okay, some people will give the name as closure. Some people will give the name as tear down. Anything is fine, guys. I'll just give tear down for now. Closure or tear down, anything you can give. And this particular method you have to annotate with at the rate after, guys. So this is another annotation from JUnit. Okay, I am importing this after annotation from JUnit, and inside this tear down annotation, I'll simply write down this driver.quit. Okay, I'm not writing the driver.quit here in the JUnit test method. Instead, I'm writing the driver.quit in the after at the rate after annotated method. But here the problem is this driver is not visible. Okay, because driver is declared inside this method. It's local to this particular method. It's not global one. So we cannot access the driver here. What I have to do? I have to make it global, guys. I'll copy this part and directly enter the class. I'll say null and here I'll remove the declaration and now it will become global. Okay, now the driver has become global. The error is gone. Okay, like this I have to do. So far so good. Now if I run the script, what will happen is first, okay, when you run this login test, what will happen is first this JUnit test will run. Okay, once the JUnit test executes and whether this particular things passes or fails doesn't matter. At the end of the JUnit test, guys, at the end of this JUnit unit test, after method, that is after at the rate after annotated JUnit method will be executed. Okay, at the rate after annotated method will be executed after every test. Here only one test is there, only one time it will be executed. If you have multiple in this login test, if you have not only this test but if you have two more tests, after each and every test this after method will be executed, guys. Okay, after each and every test after method will be executed. So I just move this driver.quit here because after the test runs, whether the test fails or passes doesn't matter, then it will run the after method. Okay, at the end of the after at the rate test, at the rate after method will run. Simple words. Okay, now run this, guys. This time you see the script will fail but the browser will close. Earlier the JUnit test failed, browser was there itself, I have to manually close, but this time because of we using the rate after method, okay, despite of the there is a failure in the JUnit test, still the browser will close because it's mandatory for the after method to run after every test method. Okay, now run this. Right click, run as JUnit test. The test will fail, but still the browser will close. That's what is the importance. That's where the use of the at the rate after came for us here. The test has failed, guys, but the browser has closed here. If you see here, the test is failed, but still the test has failed at the line 36, but still the browser got, you see there is no browser opened here. It got closed. It was very fast. That's what is the use, guys. Okay. So now let's run. Let's create few more JUnit tests, guys. Okay. It will not take much time. I'll create two more JUnit tests. I'll say public void login with valid username and invalid password. This is another JUnit test. I'll annotate this at the rate test here. Now inside this, I'll copy most of the script will be same, guys. I'll copy all this stuff till here. Entire script I'm copying so that I don't want to do the hard work this time. I'll just modify the script and light a bit. So what will happen in general, guys, when you give a wrong password? Okay. So if you go to after till going to the login page, everything is same. First you will go to the application. From the application, you'll go to the login page. Once you go to the login page, let's say you gave a valid username, valid email address you gave, but invalid password 12345 6 you gave instead of 12345. Here you gave a valid password, but here we are saying invalid password. Valid username is valid username. Invalid password is 12345. Here I'll give 6, guys. This is an invalid password. The password doesn't exist for us for this account. In this case, guys, when you give invalid password and valid username and click on the login button, whether you will get logged in, no, right? You should not get logged in actually. Okay, as per the expectations, when wrong credentials are given, you should get a warning message here. You see, when I click on the login button, you got a warning message. Now, after you click on the login button, we have to verify. We have to assert for this warning message. How to assert for this? I'll inspect this warning message first. I'll assert something like this, guys. Okay, I'll assert something like this. I'll use this particular text. Okay, I'll copy this text and create an XPath expression. So I'll start with this div tag having some ID, guys. I'll copy this ID first. Otherwise, I'll say Control F /div @ID is equal to till here it got located. Now under this div we have this text under this div tag. Okay. So under this div we have this div. So I'll say /div. So this div Control K. So this particular div should contain this particular text. Okay. I'll create an XPath expression like this. Square bracket contains like this, and here I'll say text comma. I'll give the XPath expression. I'll give the particular text that I copied just now. I copied this text, right? That I will paste here in the single quotes. Like this, I'll create an XPath expression. You see, it's locating, right? You see one of one, and it's locating this HTML code, and this warning message is getting located. The XPath itself has a required text, warning text. Okay. So here I'll simply say driver.find element by dot. Instead of link text, I'll say by dot XPath, and give the XPath expression that I created just now. Dot is displayed. That's it. If that warning message is displayed, the test will pass. If the warning message is not displayed, the test will fail. Whether the test passes or fails, the browser has to quit. Okay, because here down, this particular after method will be executed after every test, not only first test but also second test also. This after method will be executed after every test method. The after method will be executed automatically. That's what you have to understand, guys. I don't have to write this 3 times. Here you see, this is the first test. Okay, first test is login with valid. Second test is first test is login with valid credentials. Second test is login with valid username and invalid password. 2 tests are there. For 2 tests, I don't have to write this 2 times. Okay, this after method I don't have to write 2 times. This after method I don't have to write 2 times. Only 1 time is enough, guys. For each and every test, at the end of every test, this particular after method will run. That's what you have to learn. Okay, fine. Now I'll create one more test, guys. Okay, public void login with invalid username and valid password this time. Okay, login with invalid username and valid password. @test I'll say, and here I'll copy the same code. Till here I'll copy. Complete code I am copy pasting into this third test also, because most of the script is same. Just small modification I have to do. Here, guys, I have to give invalid username. So I'll give ABCDE here. Okay, this is an invalid email address, but valid password I'll give 12345. Valid password I'll give. Invalid email address, valid password. In this case also we should get the same error message, same warning message. So I don't change this line. Okay. You see how many tests are there here? 3 tests. First test, second test, third test. At the end of every test, automatically after method will be called and the browser will quit. Now let me run this code, run this class. 3 unit tests should run, 3 scripts should run one by one. First script is running, done. Second script, done. Third script, also done. Let's see the results. 2 passed, 1 failed. That's fine. But you see, all the browser instances got closed. 3 times the browser has opened, but every time it closed. That means for each and every unit test, the browser after method got executed. Okay. At the end of every unit test, this after method got executed. 3 times after method got executed automatically. Fine, guys. Now there is one more challenge. Challenge is if I expand all these 3 unit tests here, 3 unit tests here, JUnit unit tests. You see, this is repeated, right? In this first test also, you see this kind of settings part like opening the Chrome browser, maximizing the browser. Okay, this is the setting part, right? Here also the same thing is repeated. Opening the Chrome browser, maximizing the browser. Here also opening the Chrome browser, maximizing the browser. Okay, instead of repeating this in every unit test here, what I can do is I'll create one more method, guys. Okay, I'll create one more method that is public void. Some people will say setup. Okay, okay, so initialize setup. Any names can be used. I'll use setup, guys. Okay, setup and tear down. So here setup, I'll use another annotation. There's another annotation here, right? What is another annotation we have? At the rate before is there. Okay, I'm going to use at the rate before now. Okay, so import this from JUnit, and here what I'll do is I'll whatever the repeated things are there, right? This part I'll copy paste here, and in this individual unit test I'll remove this. Okay, I don't want to put that same code in every unit test. Okay, repeated code I will remove that. I'll only start from driver.get. Remaining 3 lines I'll remove. Okay, fine. The setup part. Okay, even you can move this driver.get if you want. Sometimes we may have to write inside this, or sometimes we can move also. In this case, we can move also, no problem. Okay, you see that now there is no repeated part. Every unit test has its own. Okay, I can remove this driver.get here. Here also I'll remove because I already placed that in the at the rate before. This at the rate before method will be executed before every unit test. Okay, even though it is written only once here, this at the rate before method will be executed before every unit test. This unit test it will run before. Okay, before this unit test got executed, at the rate before will run, and for this unit test also before that only before unit test will run. Like after will run for at the end of every unit test. Before method will run before every unit test. Okay, in this particular class. Now run this, guys, without any problem. The scripts will be executed. See, 3 unit tests should run before method will run. Then appropriate unit test will run. Then after method will run. Then before method, again unit test, after method. Like that 3 times it will run, guys. Okay, 3 times. Again before method, then unit test, another unit test, and then finally after method. Okay, like that. You see, this is how it works. Okay, this is the use of that annotations, guys. Okay, these are the uses of before annotation and after. So you see, code should not be written multiple times, right? Okay, you should not repeat the code. You see, if you don't use this before method, right, this code has to be repeated everywhere. All the 3 units, 3 unit tests in this example, this 4 lines of code is here. That is a duplication of the code. Okay, instead we can write like this, and also already explained what is the use of the after method here. Despite of whether the test will pass or fail, the browser will quit by creating this after method. Okay, so like this, guys, these are the some advantages of using the before and after. We in real time we use this annotations. Okay, we don't just create the unit test, but also we'll write the before and after methods also. Before and after annotated methods also we'll write. Okay, fine. And apart from this, guys, we have before class and after class also. Okay, apart from this before and after annotations, we have 2 more things, that is before class and after class. Let me write down public void, okay, public void uh, some, you see, any prerequisites or something, guys. We can give something like prerequisites or something, okay. Prerequisites are connections. Sometimes what happens is for some automation scripts to run, right, some prerequisites will be there, some connections need to happen, some connection settings should happen, okay. So, something should be done before actually any of these unit tests run. Only one time this should run only one time. Before all these three unit tests, it should run one time, guys, okay. In that case, we have to use @before class. This will be executed only once, guys, okay. Before this class, it will be executed once, okay. Import this. So I don't have any proper example to write here, guys, so I'll simply say uh, okay. So you see, what we can write here is everything clear, automation tasks, okay, everything clear to run scripts. So whatever the prerequisites that are required to run the automation scripts at a high level, guys, okay, not at the application level. Sometimes in some applications we have to do some prerequisites before running the scripts, okay. Such kind of prerequisites we can set in the before class. Only one time it will run, guys, okay. Before this class, only one time it will run. Unlike before method, it will not run before each and every unit test, okay. It will run only one time, and this particular thing will run only one time. The purpose is to, you see, set some connection. Sometimes we need to make a connection. After connection, then script has to run, such kind of things, okay. For such kind of things, we have to use to load some files, to set some connections before the scripts are running, okay. For such kind of reasons, we have to say before class, guys, okay. Only one time it will run. Before this particular class get executed, it will run one time. After that, before method will run, then unit test, then before method, then another unit test, then before method, then remaining unit test. So at the end of every unit test, after method will run, okay. That's you already know. Similarly, guys, like before class, we have after class also, okay. Public void, okay, some release resources or something, I'll say, okay. This is generally used to release some resources, like to break the objects, to close the objects and all, we can use it, guys, okay. After all the unit tests got completed, if any cleaning process is there, we can use the after class, okay. That's the purpose of the after class. This will be executed only one time after all the unit tests under this class are got executed. This will be executed before class will be executed only one time before all the unit tests got executed, whereas after class will be executed only one time after all the unit tests got executed, okay. So I'll say system dot I'll simply say released all the resources, okay. Released of all the resources, and import this after class from JUnit, okay. So so simple, guys, to explain this in a clear manner. Here here three unit tests are there, guys. Three unit tests are there. JUnit at the rate test unit tests are there, and one before is there, one after is there, and one before class, one after class. So overall, what will happen is when you run this particular class here, when you run this login test class, first it will run at the rate before class annotated method will run first. Then next at the rate before will run. Next, guys, at the rate before will run, okay. This particular at the rate before will run, which will open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser, and open the application URL. Then one of the unit test will run. At the rate test, one of the unit test will run. At the end of this unit test, at the rate after will run. Now again at the rate before will run, because three unit tests are there. Again at the rate test, at the rate after, and again what, guys? Then again at the rate before, at the rate test, then at the rate after, like this, okay. So I'll just space is not there, so like this. For three unit tests, three times before method and after methods will run, before and after. And finally, guys, after all the unit tests got completed, at the rate after class will run. This is the process, guys, okay. This is the process of the annotations. So if you have to understand clearly, this is what will happen now, okay. Before will class will run before any of these things. After class, at the end it will run, and between that, before every unit test, before will run. After every unit test, after will run. Now run this. Right click, run as JUnit test. So there is a problem. Again, there is some error coming because, okay, this before class and after class methods need to be made static, guys. Okay, you have to add static here, otherwise they will not run. In the notes also I mentioned here, you say should be static, should be static. Only these two things should be static. The methods declared with this before class, after class should be static. Okay. Now run this code, guys. Run this, right click, run as JUnit test. This will run this time without any errors. You see, before class already got executed everything. This everything clear to run the scripts is there, and scripts are now running. Okay. So one of the script completed also. Second script. If it's taking time, just hit it, guys. Just for demo purpose, no problem. Just to save the time, we can hit it. You see, after all the unit tests got released, all the resources. Okay, released all the resources belong to the after class. Released all the resources belong to the after class. So with this, guys, we are done with the JUnit annotations also. Now only two things were left out. That is assert false and assert fail. Okay, let me explain this assert false once. Okay, so I'll create one more class. I told you right at the end I'll explain this assert false and assert fail. So let me create one more class here. So I'll just name this class as some Umaya or something. And in this class, guys, I'll create a method. So what I will do here is I'll go to this application known as omai.blogspot.com application. In this application, guys, I need to verify this by default, this radio button. Okay, this mail radio button is not selected. I need to verify. Okay, for that I have to write the script public void check mail radio button. Okay, so here I'll make this as a unit test at the rate test. I'll say I'm just trying to create a kind of random example so that how which situations we can use as assert fail. Okay, in which situations we can use. For that, I'm creating a random example, guys. I'm importing this at the rate test from JUnit. Here I'll write the automation code. WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. I'll say. Then I'll say WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Then I'll import this WebDriver interface from Selenium library and also Chrome driver class also from Selenium library. Now I'll say driver.manage.window.maximize. Then I'll say driver.get, guys. Okay. Here I'll provide the application URL of this application omai.blogspot.com. I'll provide. Now, guys, after going to this application URL, I want to verify whether this radio button is not selected. For that, I'll say assertFalse. I will say. Okay. So whatever the Selenium statement I'm going to return, right, that should return false, guys, because we are expecting false. Assert false is expecting false. So here I'll write driver.find element. So I need to create an locator for this. I'll inspect this radio button. So this is the HTML code of this radio button, guys. You see it has some ID, guys. I'll go with this ID. I'll say by.id. So I'll give the ID of that radio button, and here I'll say dot is selected. Is it selected, guys? By default, is it selected? That mail radio button is selected. Is this mail radio button in selected state? No, right? It will return false. So this command will return false, and we are expecting false also. The assertion will pass. The assertion will pass, guys. Okay. Here I'll quit the browser also. The test should pass now. This kind of situations we can use assert false, guys. Okay, simple words. Let me run the script for you. It will open the Chrome browser, maximize the browser, open the application URL, and it will verify whether that mail radio button is not selected. Okay, if it is not selected, the test this assertion will pass and test will pass. Okay? So in this kind of situations, you can use assert false, guys. There is one more thing left out. That is fail. Okay, there's one more thing left out. That is fail, guys. Okay, oh, this assert.fail is there. Okay, so I'll write one script for that also. I'll create a new class. So I'll just give some random class. Okay, give some name like random. Okay, public void random method, some random method. Okay, method also I'm giving as random JUnit test. I'll convert this into JUnit test at the rate test. Import this at the rate test from JUnit. Now, guys, what I want to do here is let's assume that let's do one thing, guys. Okay, so let's do one thing. I want to fail the test. Okay, I want to fail the test which situation I can fail the test, guys. Okay, I want to fail the test if this particular right, this particular option is in selected state, then I want to fail the test. Okay, it should not be in selected state. So let me manually create something, guys. Okay, or I want to fail the test when this particular, when there is no text available. Okay, when there is no text available inside this text area field, I want to fail the test, let's say. Okay, some certain conditions I want to create. When there is no text inside the text area field, I want to fail, like that, something. Okay, I want to create. Let me write the code here. You'll understand when I can use assert dot fail driver WebDriver manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Then here I'll say WebDriver is equal to new Chrome driver. WebDriver is equal to new Chrome driver. I'll import this WebDriver from Selenium, and Chrome driver also I'll import from Selenium. Driver dot manage dot window dot maximize, it will maximize the browser. Then driver dot get, I'll get this. Okay, I'll retrieve the text that is there in the, I'll inspect this text area field once and see. Okay, you see there is no text between the text area tags, right? Okay, so I'll use this ID, guys. Okay, I'll use the ID of this text area field. If I inspect this text area field, I'm getting this. There's an ID to locate that. I'll copy this. The driver dot find element by dot ID, and I'll give that. And I want to retrieve the text that is there in this text area field. There is no text, right? So I'll use a command known as dot get text. This command will retrieve the text that is there between the tags. You see, starting tag and ending tag, whatever the text is there, it will retrieve. But there is no text in the text area field, it will retrieve nothing, guys. Okay, string actual string actual text something. Okay, now here I'll write a condition, guys. Okay, if actual text dot equals like this nothing, then I want to fail it. Assert dot fail. Okay, based on this condition, if this condition becomes true, I want to fail it. Okay, like that kind of situations, guys, I want to use this. Okay, then finally I'll say driver dot quit. This may not happen. This will not be called because here assertion will fail and the script will stop. So better I'll write public void tear down. Here I'll write at the rate after, and here I'll write driver dot quit. Import this at the rate after from JUnit, and also driver cannot be recognized because I need to make this part global. I'll simply make it global like this and remove the declaration from here. Don't forget to remove the declaration, otherwise double declaration will happen. Now run the script, guys. You see, based on this condition, the assertion, that is JUnit assertion, will fail. Okay, this kind of situations we have to use assert.fail, guys. Okay, now run this. The test has to fail now because we are explicitly failing it using assert.fail. You see, it got failed. So assertion error. If you want to display some message, you can display here also, guys. You can miss. Okay, there is no text inside the text area field. Hence failed. Okay, the reason for the failure also we can write like this. Okay, now run this. Whatever the reason I gave here in the fail, that will come in the JUnit test failure reasons. The reasons for the failure will come this time. You see, we got the assertion error this time. And what is the reason for the assertion? Since there is no text inside the text area field, this particular test got failed. Okay, so hope, guys, you understood all the different type of assertions now. Even more are there, guys. Okay, this is not the final list. There are even more assertions also available. These are generally used one. Okay, even one or two more are also there. I don't want to go so much depth. Okay, so this much is enough. Annotations I covered. I covered the batch execution of the scripts, different Java files, and error collector I showed you, right? Multiple assertions are there. In middle assertion is kind of minor assertion, and because of the script is failing, it's not fail. We have to handle it, and when we handle it, if you want the test to actually fail, okay, if the assertion is failing, the test has to actually fail despite of handling. In that case, we have to use error collector, Then I explained parameterized test, explained ignoring the test, I explained multiple tests, adding in a single class we can have multiple tests, and order we can decide in which order the test has to run. Everything I have explained, guys. Okay. So in this session, guys, I explained completely about JUnit unit testing framework in a detailed manner with practical examples. So that's all for this session, guys. Hope you have understood whatever I have explained and you have enjoyed the learning. So that's it. Thank you. Bye.